You feel good?
Trying to figure it out. I feel like my legs are super white on this camera.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
The whole time.
You're the one that's got a pool.
Run for a spray tan.
I do have a pool. Yeah. A little spray tan. Maybe I should put some jeans on.
I like it. You look good.
What do they look like to you? Is this okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, Meg's okay.
No, you're not allowed to get up.
What's funny is I wouldn't have picked these. I wouldn't have picked these chairs because they're just kind of. They're good looking on set, but
they look great. I like our color scheme right now.
Yeah, you're.
And if you're listening online, you got to see what's happening here because we are rolling, sir. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Bad Beards Podcast.
Yeah, this is my first time on Bad Beards.
This is your first time.
But I feel like I've had a lot of interaction with Bad Beards Podcast.
You've had several interactions over the years with Bad Beard and his different iterations of what the podcast is today. And so today's guest, which is fun for me because my show is varied. It covers a lot of different topics, a lot of different people, but everybody from my world. Nobody doesn't necessarily fit, and I find connection with everybody I sit down with. But this one's unique because I've known him for like 15 years.
Maybe 20.
A long time. We met here in Los Angeles in the business that we still operate in today.
It was on a John Brookbank shoot.
John Brookbank, who still uses the photo I took of him as his profile photo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Yeah, I always think of that too. As a photographer, I'm always keeping track of who's using my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not liking enough of my photos, but you've got my profile picture.
Yeah, that's dedication.
You know, you kind of dial into people.
Yeah.
I like having Meg here because we have like we have like an audience.
You know it's going well if she's laughing.
Yeah, you should always have her in the background.
One wide and a laugh track for all the folks at home just to know that this is in fact entertaining.
Oh yeah, laugh track.
Yeah. Well, so some of the things that I want to go over today, having you on my show that's been a long time coming. I'm currently in Los Angeles. We are in Beverly Hills, 90210, at your lovely home. Baker, his lovely daughter, is off at camp today, and so we stole just a couple hours to sit down and chat. And so I want to just start at the beginning, which we've already kind of touched on, like what we've worked on along the way, some of the fun projects you've done, and then what is the latest and greatest in Mr. Mariande's life. And so let's just start at the beginning. Give us an introduction, like who you are, your name, who you are, and a little background.
Yeah, I'm thinking about John Brookbank.
Yeah.
Because back then...
Which you were not John Brookbank. This is John.
We were both at the time doing... this is Jonathan. My name's Jonathan Mariande. And these legs look super pasty on that camera. We were both doing like... I was doing grip and lighting, jack of all trades stuff at the time, and you were doing sound on that shoot, because then I thought you were specifically a sound guy.
Yeah.
It's funny how when you're in production, if you do one shoot, with someone, that's how they know you forever.
Yeah.
So like in my head, I was like, Sam. So we'll just call Sam if we need, if the other guy, Ryan, it wasn't available. And we'd call you and you'd have like the kit. And then gradually it was like, it would unpack more that you were an actor.
Yeah.
Which made a lot more sense because you were like doing you were one of the early CrossFit guys to ever do CrossFit. You were going between shooting with us on like these indie movies and short films because we did a bunch of things like that where it was like a pirate's life. And you were like a pirate. And at the time you had short hair, no beard.
Yeah.
You weren't Bad Beard yet.
Not Bad Beard yet.
Which we could talk about Liver King.
We can jump
Today,
there quicker.
I don't
after.
even know what's happening. I only followed him when I heard something Joe Rogan getting arrested.
Yeah.
And then terrorism possibly charges or allegedly or something.
It's exciting times in his life.
Yeah, and then he got out and he's already back on. He's already posted like 6 videos.
Can't keep him down.
Which is sort of like he's kind of streaming. The streamers right now are like, that's the thing.
They're taking notes?
Well, yeah, I'm always taking notes. You stream and then you people clip it out.
Yeah.
Which is like the genesis of Full Circle from back where you were doing he was doing the early CrossFit. You were getting paid and fed to go work out.
So this was called Tap Out XT at the time. It was for Beachbody, which if you don't know, they run a ton of different,
But you were getting paid and you were showing up with
meals. I was supposed to be a before and after.
He was like, this is 2007 or 8 or 9. He's shown up with like meals before anybody would in a little plastic thing.
Before it all, like the delivery and all the pre-made meals was a thing.
And they were good because we're eating shitty set food. And then Sam would have like steak and a little like au gratin with like avocado, something like some asparagus. and salt, and it was like the guy was getting swole, and he was like sound guy. Then he found out.
Well, and so it was. I had a Tascam. That was the only thing that called me a sound guy. I just happened to have a Tascam.
And a boom and a
because I borrowed that from my buddy Darren.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I got hit up to do sound. Do you have? And he's a VO dude, and so he's like, oh yeah, you can borrow my. And then if you look on my IMDb, I think my first credit for like 2008 or 2006 or something is like sound guy.
Oh, let's have Meg check that. Meg, can you pull that up?
Run the notes.
We got to get Meg on a laptop. We should. If we restart, I could put an iMac right there for her. We could look at it. Yeah, we're just in my living room studio.
Yeah, which so you're a photographer, you're an editor, and all these things. And so when we met, you were
I don't
LNG.
like to define it. I'm just a filmmaker. I like to keep that.
Well, so I
simple.
say artist at this point.
Yeah, I used to say artist, but I felt like people were like, "Oh, he's not Picasso." And so in my head, if I'm not Picasso, I'm not even going to put it down. Not to say, but putting filmmaker down, I'm like.
What if I run like a hashtag F artist, like a fartist?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone what to call me.
Yeah,
it's just my claims.
Oh, one. So in addition to all
more general based.
So this is a very big claim, man, and I don't even know where to jump in. I'm trying to start at the beginning, but clearly,
let's go back. We'll get to that. That'll be gradual.
Are we a sovereign citizen? Are we a flat earther? Where are we even going to go from here? We don't even know yet. But that's what I just want to get a baseline of who you are, so before I unpack all of it.
Yeah. So we were doing production.
Yeah.
You always had a huge truck.
Yeah.
He has a huge truck, Raptor. Right? Is it a Raptor?
No, it's a Super Duty.
Yeah, bigger.
King Ranch.
No, big enough King Ranch.
Yeah.
And we did all these productions through till like, when did you leave here? Right before the pandemic?
Well, you continued down the path from lighting, and then you and
DP.
Patrick, had a grip truck, and then so you were DPing.
John Kearns and I had the grip truck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was his grip truck, and I had some stuff in it.
Yeah, and you were in the valley. You were in like
we were in
Lake or
Studio
something.
City.
Yeah.
Pirates Life. We had like a bunch of people.
And so we would just jump on different shoots along the way, and I would do this and he would do that. And then like I got more into motorcycles, and I'd call you and be like, hey, you want to play with this or whatever. And so we always kept up.
Is this a filmmaking podcast? Because I could say
this is a you podcast.
So some of the things about filmmaking is like now we're like in our 40s, and I've legitimately been in LA like 20 years.
Yeah.
First came in 2004 for an internship. At Double Feature Jersey Films. Lived in North Carolina. You didn't live in North Carolina. I was confused that because you have the Florida connection. We have a Florida connection. But yeah, 20 years, you get to a point where then, like when I started, I was like, man, unions and like big pictures, studio pictures will ever get there. But then you're 40 and you're like starting to you have choices now. Like you're finally like settling into those choices with the acting and the stunts. I'm settling, like I've directed a feature. I've got another feature I'm about to direct, but I'm also going to like completely show run and produce it. You're making different choices. We were doing it. We were trying to get as many people as we could on a shoot because back then our rate wasn't going to change.
Yeah.
So it just meant if my rate was going to be no matter what the same rate it always was, then everyone else, the more people I had around me to do work, the less I would have to do for that work.
Yeah.
Because if you're a grip, you're like, there's only one art department guy. How many people does it take to move a couch, Meg? Two couch. Well, Sam, you could probably move one couch. See,
Meg could handle it by herself.
That's a problem too. Well, two people typically. Union guys. Oh, it takes two of us. I don't want to hurt my back. Ruin my pension too soon. It's like, two guys move a couch, but we usually have like these would be like 10, 15 man shoots plus talent. And you'd try to get more people on the shoots because you'd be like, oh, Rusty, come on over here. Rusty's a genius.
Many hands
swing.
make like the work.
He'll move the couch. I'm doing this over here. And then yet another guy, yet another thing. So yeah, that was like 15 years ago. Where we were doing that stuff.
And as we both kind of made our own way and found our own things, and similar to you at the time, I wasn't going any of the union route because I was producing my own stuff, and I understood that like, well, once you go union, then you have to consider all this other.
Same. I had the opportunity to go union really early in like tons of different departments. The only time I wanted to do it, I'm glad I didn't, and it was just serendipitous that I didn't, was I had gone with John in the lighting stuff into like the mid 2000 teens, and I was DPing features. One guy, Chai Yu Chen, remember Chai? You work with Chai. This was during the Occupy Wall Street, Occupy LA protesting, which become relevant later with our story. He was on a project, I was gaffing. we were like 3 weeks. He comes up to me and goes, hey, I got another gig. I need you to DP this. And I was looking around, I'm like, wow, okay, I'm the gaffer. He's like, do you want to? I'm like, why are you leaving? He's like, it's more money. So I was like, yeah, I kind of learned that lesson. Like, oh yeah, sometimes you leave the movie you're DPing to go get more money DPing another one.
Yeah.
And so I took over DPing, and then I just went on this ride. And I was DPing, I did like 10 films, 11 films, pretty consistently. It was like 5 or 6 at the time, like 1, 2, 3. They just kept going with these little projects in between. That led us to this project, gaffing, turned DP. I don't know where you were in this journey. You guys were like...
On a motorcycle somewhere.
Motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. Were you Bad Beard yet?
Yes.
When was Bad Beard?
So do you remember the name Stephen Snavely?
Of course.
So I was working a lot with him,
Yeah.
and we had just done so much together. At some point, we're like,
He started bringing you on those ride shows? Is that how you got on
we
that?
were doing all this tourism stuff in like Palm Springs and CVBs and all this stuff.
And you were now set up as the guy in his mind that could bring everything.
Yeah, and then I was the guy. For
the filmmakers, that's how it grows.
Well, and
right guy sees you doing everything. He's like, that's my guy for everything.
Well, and so to jump back, as you kind of like price yourself out of different shoots, and in this industry, it's not like people appreciate if you get a job for more money. Oftentimes they're like, go take that job for more money, assuming you can bring someone in your place to come and do at least as good, if not better, than you yourself. Because like as it is in these like in non-union shoots, everybody's just always like looking to get fed, and so that's kind of how that goes. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, those passion projects that you got to stay in for.
I don't think there was any bad things. Everything was good. Everything's great.
I'm just trying to get a little behind the curtain of like
the union thing for you and the union thing for me was it was not the union I wanted. DPing.
It's not how I knew it. I didn't understand why it was actually going to aid in my existence at that time. I had no idea.
I'd gotten 3 opportunities for unions leading up to that point. That I could have I'm going to just do that. But I also had experiences on those sets, big studio sets, in lots of little like jump over department moments where I was like, I don't want to be the guy that just presses one button or moves only the stand for the light. Like I like getting the stand, talking to the DP when I'm lighting. Where is it? Giving an option without telling them it's an option. Like this, they're like, no, more to the left. Oh, I didn't like the option, pull it back. I like that because I'm playing a sport. You're playing a sport against time. You're like pretending all the time to be doing a million different things. Just
Look how busy I am.
Protocol. We call it Ben Franklining. Because Ben Franklin, I read his autobiography. So from where he lived, there was like a square across his house. And that was his studio. And he would every day in his autobiography, which is really good, he would pack all of his scrolls and gadgets and new inventions. And he was working on like just overpack his cart, and then he would push it across town square because he wanted people every time they saw him to associate Ben Franklin with being industrious. He was, Ben Franklin, he's industrious. Look at Ben Franklin, never stops working. Yeah. How does Ben Franklin get the time? And so I took that on to set where you're constantly walking like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I can walk on the set that I'm not supposed to be on, and I can walk right up to the actors. If you're, because for the most part, unless they got name tags and high security, most of the time they don't.
You know, you need. I have a watch just so I'm always like, oh, that guy's got somewhere to be. He's minding his time.
So Ben Franklin, we used to have like Allen wrench. We would have like Allen wrenches on these small sets. I used to tell this kid who's now doing his own stuff, DP and Henry Power. He used to AC for me a lot and be like, just grab an Allen wrench when someone's looking for someone to move a couch and just be tapping something rubber under your camera and be looking at it real close. Yeah, be like, what's going?
Yeah.
No, this f-stop's not.
That's not gonna.
It's not ringing enough. We're gonna have to get better focus. Oh, you guys need me? Just a second. I'm dealing with this f-stop. Oh, okay, I'll ask somebody else. And they'll like disappear. They go.
Or a clipboard, or just.
That's all thanks to Ben
Or just
Franklin.
a little headset. Yeah. You're just always like, on my way.
Yeah. Oh wait, sorry, I'm on second channel. You're
stand
first.
by.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, go to channel 2.
So those choices. When did you jump to acting more than? Was it always, you were always a little in front of the camera?
Well, so they describe it now as being hyphenated because I wear so many hats, but I've always been just working my way in front of the camera.
Same.
Yeah.
I was always in I would act in student films in college, and then I had like an open access show where I'd act in sketches. So I love that. And then I had enough experience and annoyance. It's always like that balance, annoyance and experience to know where you've kind of hot, crazy matrix yourself into the situation?
Well, the way I understood it was you just find out what you don't like doing. by doing everything. And that's where I got to where I am today is like, I know what I know what I'm good at, and I know what I don't like doing. And then that's where I kind of land currently.
And there's also a skill set that can't be overlooked, which is you have to be okay. Like one of the things too about being on set is you have to have the people like having you around all day. Mm-hmm. So if you're not that person, or you're like, there's things about you that just kind of bug people, you won't get hired back. Because I would hire people sometimes. I have a skilled guy who like knew cameras and lenses, but like this is like a small production. It's like $100,000 or $200,000 production. It's like, do I want the guy that really is going to annoy me and brain drain me with all these like technical? Yeah, it's actually. Yeah. Or do I want the person who's just like a wild card, super fun, and can carry stuff? Yeah. Because I can tell you what I want. You know.
Well, and that's also what I describe to people too. It's like, Sam, what's your biggest asset? I'm like, I'm really fun at like hour 14. It's like, Crafty's drained, everybody's drained. And
I'm actually not fun. I become the guy.
We're not surprised.
Yeah, I get a little high strung at the 14th hour where I'm like, this is not second meal.
I'm even keel. I'm even
which
keel.
I regret that friendship moment that's a true story that I did with a set once. I regret that but anyway.
Tell us about it.
Oh God, no, not that story.
Okay, we're not gonna get canceled before we get started.
Yeah, I think I am. It's down here under my second shirt. Is that a problem?
I think we're doing all right. Are you looking to, clip it to the outside guy just for our friends at home.
This is great.
Alienating their eardrums right now.
I'll give you the brass tacks about it. The project, I should put it on the inside. The project was one where I'd been climbing as a DP, and I had bringing these like pseudo union guys now with me, and they were a good team, and I had been bringing like these camera guy, like I'd built this is probably like the 5th feature I DP'd. I had built all the people around me, maybe 6th. So I knew I was pulling good enough camera. Camera's usually 3 people. G&E is usually 3 or 4, depending if it's like a 3-ton or like a 1-ton. If you go to a 5-ton, you're trying to get like 6 guys, including a gaffer and a key grip. Mm-hmm. These
are trucks that all the equipment lives on.
Yeah, trucks. So every truck is like a moving truck, like a big, but like that's a 10-ton. Mm-hmm. So the U-Haul most people would move like your studio bedroom or college dorm would be like a little small 1/2-ton. A 1-ton was a little bigger. Mm-hmm. A 3-ton was like a proper, had a lift gate. That's what we had. We had a lawnmower service extended rectangle that you couldn't even stand up in. Yeah. At the beginning, and then we got into a Ford Galpin 450, sort of like your truck without the back, and it was its own kind of connected into the truck, which was like a life-changing to stand up and
I remember it, yeah.
Because you're lifting.
Because you got your roller carts on it, and you got all your scrims.
If you're lucky, we were slowly building
4x floppies and
getting up to that point. So I built a cool team. I had good equipment around me, good cameras, stuff I liked. Well, the camera on that movie was like his choice. We were the first feature, maybe the second with this director, but the first one with him, to use the Blackmagic 4K camera as a movie, which was the wide. It was like an iPhone with like weird oblong body, short but wide, and then you put a lens in it, and then you had to have like, we didn't have all the adapters and stuff. We had like...
It looked like a Polaroid camera that would just pop out the side.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah. So, and on that movie, I had a bunch of people that were like, we were working 12 to 14-hour days every day. It was cool. We knew we were doing something special, but it was the 3rd, 4th, 5th time. So then you're like, it's not that special. It's just special in the sense that it's going to be seen and distributed. It's going to be a good film. The director is going to be great at this. And I was DPing it, so it looked good in my mind.
But you were getting tired.
No, so my crew was like, they had a $1 menu for the second meal, but this is at like, God, I don't want to quote me because I like this person still, and I've crashed his drone, and I've things like that. So, like, there's been all kinds of things. This guy is a good friend. Love him. Don't want to rehash this, but it was after like a long plus 12 hours, and my crew were like, "Hey man, $1 menu is not a menu, man." And then another guy's like, "Yeah, we're still hungry," and another guy's like, "You need to say something." Like these are all like the different people. And I was like kind of with it. So I told someone I was like, dude, can we do something else? This isn't $1 menu. And I was really calm at first. And he was defensive. He was like, threw the director under the bus and was like, and I know him too and I love him. He's like, no, that's, hey, this is not, don't even tell him this is his idea. And I was like, oh, dude, And he was like, I mean, you could tell him, I guess. You could tell him. So I told him, and before I did, another person intercepts me. It's like, hey, this is not. He's like, hold on. Another guy comes in. It's like, we need real food. Like and I made the mistake to say on a real set. And this was a real set, but I meant like a big budget studio television show or whatever. And I was like, on a real set, second meal is just as good as first meal. And it wasn't the fact that I was mad about second meal or first meal. It was the fact that I think that I disrespected it.
Yeah.
And I even apologized about that later. To me, at least, it made it.
Wrong phrasing.
I was like, I didn't mean a real set. I just meant like, we're all young. We're like grinding. We're hustling. We want to take care of each other. Yeah. We want to be successs Because I wanted him to be successful. This was like my second, third movie with this guy. I did eventually must have been like my fifth movie with him because I did 5 or 6, 5.5 with him. And we wanted to keep going. And so I was like mad about that, but he was mad, I was mad. We both got like upset. And then
it's the way it goes sometimes.
That's the way it went that time. I would never approach it again like that. I would just pull out of my pocket and order for my guys quietly. And maybe enough for other people to like kind of like bribe them and be like, yeah, you can have a piece of pizza. We didn't order it for you, but like you're gonna help us carry that couch next time we need it. Or
it's interesting on the non-union side of things. Having now that I'm a union guy, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, coming off these big shows.
As an actor,
as a performer,
it made me real thinking about movies. I was in this time in my life working on them. Mm-hmm. I got to this like ultra heightened, jaded sense of movies, not in an arrogant way, but like I didn't want to watch them anymore. I knew the movies I loved, the classics. I would rewatch those. Didn't watch hardly any TV unless it was like a doc series about like living in Alaska cabins or something like that, because like that would just interest me. It was called the Alaskans.
In the cabins.
No, they were like living on this land, top right of Alaska, that they had been grandfathered in. They were trappers. They were the last 7 land rights, people that had been grandfathered in. I'll think about it later. It was awesome.
Well,
but that said, I wasn't watching movies, and I didn't want to watch them because I didn't want to be influenced by decisions. And people thought this was stupid. And I think they were like, "Well, you should see what everybody's doing." I was like, "No, I want to be more free to be like."
What do I think?
Well, I was working as a gaffer a lot, and I had to be creative, so I didn't want to watch a movie and try to guess how they did it as much as I wanted to try to figure out what to do with the equipment.
Yeah, I've always been in a weird kind of inverse of that. Is that I forever didn't watch TV or movies just because I had just this weird sense of jealousy. Because I would see things where I'm like, man, I'm working seemingly just as hard and the opportunities are similar that they don't, the ROI wasn't matching. Yeah. And so oftentimes I wouldn't want to watch something or see something because it would just kind of irk me.
I didn't like seeing, when I would watch them, I didn't like seeing things that I had thought of, So like for one of my projects right now, there was for the studio, on HBO that I love.
Just long takes of things.
I love everything about it. It's great. I mean, I love everything about that show. We could talk a whole episode about it. But they have a log line, which is like, it's a love letter out of Hollywood. Yeah. I've been seeing it on billboards. And when I was doing this Antarctica project, I was working at the beginning with another person, creatively discussing, unpacking other than just going to Antarctica, 4 flat earthers, 4 globers.
Well, so just to take a step back, and if we're going to jump this direction, I've always known John as this multi-hyphenated dude, and he's had great relationships with all sorts of different industry insiders, and John Kearns and Patrick, and just all these different characters. And so always along the way, though, John has been what I'll say is a contrarian. Because he's got a lot of very specific opinions, and
so because I don't watch anything, so I like to come up with my own.
So what he does watch is the deep recesses of the internet is what he watches. He goes into the back rooms, and then I lose him for a while.
I've never even been
and
on
he comes
the
up for air, and I go, "Oh Jesus, John, what have you been into lately?"
Yeah.
And so I would end up in Studio City at your place or whatever from time to time.
That's funny that's your thought.
And we would just drink beers, and I would, because I like to pretend I'm like Planet Fitness of people. I love wherever you're coming from, whatever you're about, and so I've always loved you just because you're so specific in what you think and believe.
Yeah.
And so I'm comfortable just going to those regions with you because I'm like, what do you? And I like asking questions. I'm curious.
Yeah, you're a contrarian too. I mean, that's what makes it your ability to go beyond groups, because you've got like your other Sam group
Yeah.
And
You got lots of Sam groups.
Yeah, like the workout Sam. And then you'd have like your other like little film groups, like your bike people, which I would do stuff in, or your fitness, your narrative. We did narrative together. Hustling and creative.
So I would say, yes, similar, different in the sense though, like, I feel like part of your contrarianism, and I use that word because I don't like to say asshole, because that's John too, where he will find a button.
I've been called that before.
Yeah, he'll find that button and he'll push it. And so some of these things that he deep dives, I'm not certain, because it's a lot of conspiracies.
You say push it, I'm really just challenging.
You make a claim, he's going to make you prove it.
I'll ask a question, yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of these come from conspiracies and topical things that are happening that you're very, observant on and you participate in. It's not enough just to know. You actually go and put a hand on the pulse. You want to be about it. Yeah. And so you're not, and so that's what I've always appreciated about you too.
Yeah, I've had opportunities.
You're not full of shit. You speak what you mean and you go live it. And so fast forward to now, he's just come back from Antarctica, where he has gone with a group of friends to document what it is to prove that flat Earth is real. Like this. So walk us into that a little bit.
Okay, a few things to unpack. First, the funny thing about our interaction is I've got like 2 Instagrams, because when you have a kid, you're like, oh, I have new people around me. I didn't want to like bring them right into my thought process, because I know how it is sometimes. So then I at suggestions of people, I started another account. You follow both of them. I have like a surfing one I occasionally get on. What's funny is the old one was like hard hitting, like sending, posting, doing stuff. It was all my funnel, more than like a Facebook or a YouTube. And then the new one, and I got into that. On the new one, I got into it also again. I was just like, oh, I can't resist. Started throwing my ideas out there. And then I did. This Antarctica thing came so quick. And I didn't have stuff I was like dialing into or anything, because I was working on other projects that probably for a long time. And Antarctica came very quick. Like long story short, a friend of mine was going that I was at a bachelor party with that you two were at in Nashville. Patrick Kenny, my old roommate. And we went to Vegas. There was a couple of guys from Nashville that came. One of them was Mark Herman. He directs the Candace Owens show now. She's since left the Daily Wire. He went with her. And he was going, and I was like, wow, he's a flat earther. I had no idea. And I messaged him, and he sent me the website, and it was like, oh yeah, these people have been invited, all expense, to go to Antarctica. These have been invited for the Globe and are going. And it was like flat earthers I knew, like Eric Dubé, Mark Sargent.
Because you're already familiar with the landscape.
Yeah, I was a flat
landscape.
I was flat earth connoisseur, consuming since like 2014
you were in the beginning,
15.
Yeah.
The beginning of like this, in the last 200 years.
Yeah.
Led by like Eric Dubé, or like Mark Sargent was later on a show on Netflix, Behind the Curve, which is like 2018, halfway point. Jaron Campanella, who came on the trip I went with, was one of the flat earthers going. But when I was seeing the trip happen, I asked, and he was like, yeah, it's $40,000. There's spots if you want to go. And I was like, haha, can't go, but kept asking. I was like, I'll do a doc, I'll shoot. Thinking, I kind of thought Candace Owens might be putting it on. And so he's like, no, I'm just going in her place. Some time passes, it's like nearly Thanksgiving. I get a text from him at like 7 a.m, a call. We've been texting. I'm like, Mark Herman, only 2 things you call someone at 7 a.m. for: to work last minute, or he's calling about flat earth. And I was like, he lives in Nashville. No way he's calling me to work. And if he is, it's probably well paying, something cool. So I'm like, hello? And he's like, hey, I forget what he said. He's like, Will's the guy putting on the trip, spoke to him about you offering to do the doc. What would it take? Maybe you can call him, you into that. You still want to go? It's in like 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, give me his call. Didn't even consult it with Stephanie. Because I was like, Antarctica, what does this mean? Like, I got to get as close as I can first and then tell her.
Yeah.
And so I talked to the guy, Will. I showed him a project I had just been doing, a doc series thing. And I was like, here's something else I was working on. He loved it. He was all about it. He says, and I'm flying out the next day to Massachusetts, Mattapoisett we were going to with Stephanie's brother for Thanksgiving. So I was flying out the next day, like in the morning. He goes, yeah, can you get me in like a day, like scope and a pitch on like what it would cost, what you would do, an agenda? And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So like
ChatGPT.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Like I go to ChatGPT and take all my old documents. And I'm like, it's like this, it's like that, but it's less, it's more, it's different. And then I had to end up doing more work to just figure out what it had written. But on the plane ride, I get it together. I send it by the time like we land. And he's like, this is great. He's like, okay, he calls me. He's like, I need to make sure 2 things. One, okay, I'm 100%. I'm going to buy your flights to Chile, to Antarctica. I got to do medevac. We're flying like 400 miles south of Punta Arenas, Chile. Okay. Which is like the furthest part Chile you can go. Ushuaia is in Argentina. Yeah. Yeah, Argentina. It's the other place people go to Antarctica in South America from. That goes through the Drake's Passage. Just like this oblong between the 2 bottoms of the continent. It's like undersea trench. Right. With like a hole, so it just gets crazy. But they take cruises. They see the animals, hit the coast, and come back. We were flying on a 757 airplane. It's like a commercial airline. Landing on a blue ice runway, and then we're like 10 miles from there to a camp. And then from that camp, the offer is they're going to give us our own camp another 5 miles out. Yeah. Where we're not, so this camp's under a mountain because it's on a glacier that moves every year. The camp resets every year.
Well, and just for context for people, the group that has been assembled, aligning with the ideology of flat Earth, it's not frequent that they get to go then test their beliefs and put them really under the microscope.
There's a lot to that. You're right.
There's a lot to that because it's one side. A lot
flat
of these people
Earth has a belief that we can't even go to Antarctica.
You can't even go.
That is protected. There was videos I'd seen. I'm an armchair flat earthers. Yeah. Much as I'm a conspiracy, I sit here at night. It's not like I'm like going down to downtown LA to find the underground tunnels and like fact check that conspiracy. Like I'm like, oh, there's tunnels downtown LA. Super cool. There's like maybe lizards in there, okay, or something. Yeah. Armchair. Oh, look at this, guys.
Well, and that's where a lot of the conjecture comes from in those circles is like they don't really want to refute with hard evidence. They just want to live in a ecosystem of like.
That is a good perspective that a lot of people share.
Because fast forward.
I wouldn't say that's the truth, but I'd say a lot of people share that thought on any conspiracy is that they're not. Flat earthers are doing, they're doing work. Okay, and they've got, Eric Dubé has 200 proofs. The flat earthers grab onto a lot of those. One of them is a map. It's a flat earth map. Every flat earth map is an example of this for real flat earthers.
Like the Mercadian,
It's like I think that's what it's called. It's just the flat earthers believe, I'll give you the breakdown. We all know space and the globe and the universe. Flat earthers, there's a misconception, we'll call it a psyop. As a flat earther, I was aware there was some red herrings. The psyop is that the flat earth is a pancake. Right. And that it's only thickness, right? And that it's in space at the same place we are in my very educated mother 9 planets, kind of like Mars, Venus. Right? 3rd planet from the sun thing. But that's a pancake. So there's all a bunch of ridicule and things that flat earthers would notice. And if you're a flat earther, no one's signing up for a club. They're going to meetups, but no one's I'm not part of the Flat Earth Society. I have a badge and I do tests and get merit badges. That's, I think, the PSYOP idea of it.
Well, and I think just a step further back, a lot of people that then, gravitate towards conspiracies and things like that are as you describe a PSYOP, somebody is at hand placing that in motion. Somebody's trying to get you. And so a lot of conspiracies come from the place that they want to, I know more than
or
they
want to
you didn't get me.
Flat Earth, the Flat Earth psyop of the the pancake could be a 4chan troll. Right. Because a lot of that stuff was always at a 4chan was the meme stuff's funny and it's ridiculing. That's what's so sharp about it. Because there's they're touching in something that's still got a lot of cloud, flat Earth, and they're seeding it with really efficient looking shit,
and then they seed it with
an old document.
Truths. That could be,
Flat Earth isn't going to the Dewey Decimal System in the library and pulling up a printed newspaper that you can check was printed in 500 other places. We're going to a photocopy on the internet where it's this was printed in 1929. You're oh, it's official. Yeah. No, look, the paint is even eroded the same, as a screen copy. So Flat Earth disinformation's out there. So as a Flat Earther, you're well, I know that's bullshit. And I know this touches to my sensibility, it is in all the major religions, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Muslims, Buddhism, the Native Americans, like the Cherokee and the like,
well,
the
and
Incans
would you
and
say
the
this is a human thing where you find patterns that you're looking for that may not be there?
They all touched on a firmament. They all said it was a dome. This is what they all had in common. They all have image. They have all ancient have like, if you want to cut it in a shot, they all had like ancient, Google it.
Google it.
I say ancient. They had like old depictions.
Yeah.
It was like even like Michelangelo or someone has like the night sky where it's a half dome and the man's reaching out of it from inside.
Right.
So the firmament, it's in the Bible. It's like Psalm 1:9, 9 1.
On his shoulders.
It says, well, I only know it because it was on Wernher von Braun's tombstone. Wernher von Braun is a former Nazi from Operation Paperclip who was one of the founders of investor founders, I think, of Disney and of NASA. He was like involved early in NASA. I wouldn't say like a founder. It wasn't like that.
And I'm still trying to get views on this, and you're already going to get me blacklisted? Frick.
Well, so like him and NASA and the space missions, it'd be interesting that a man would quote the Bible on his tombstone as the only thing on his tombstone, which said, "You will know the handiwork of the Lord by the sky, the ocean, and the firmament above." And the firmament idea is like there's a dome, and it either covers our flat plane or multiple flat planes.
Well, it's a little bold to assume that you could understand entirely why he picked that quote and give it such a...
Well, yeah, you can look at it from the other perspective.
It could have a totally different...
To him, it could be an inside thing where he's like, we beat the Bible. Maybe in his mind, he's like, there is no firmament. Although
But a lot to ascribe from
Operation
a
High
tombstone.
Jump seems to imply they didn't get through the firmament because they shoot rockets to the sky and they explode.
All right, well, let's stay on one topic at hand.
Look it up.
Back to... So you're with the crew now.
I was as a flat earther, I was brought in.
And at this point, what is your actual belief? What is your, at this time, previous to?
I'm a flat earther.
Flat earther.
Yeah, that's why he wanted me to do it. He said he wanted me to be able to...
Objectively?
Objectively be like non-biased as the filmmaker. Because the idea of the final experiment is flat earthers and globers going to Antarctica.
So I would be a glober.
Yeah, all expenses paid to... or you could be on the fence and not be one way or the other. Like I'm on the fence, but I'm a glober, or I'm on the fence with flat Earth. But it's all expense paid for a few of them to go to Antarctica and to do any experiments, but to witness the 24-hour sun.
Right.
Because one of the big things that the founder, Will Duffy, of the final experiment had thought about when he started to chew on the experiments and probably do them, where I would just look at him and be like, water doesn't find its level. Look at my glass, He would take him to another level. Antarctica you can't go to. It's forbidden. There's an Antarctic treaty. It started with 14 nations and 50.
Did you have like a list of like, well, let's check them one by one?
No, I guess 9 or 10 years, you just think about it a lot. It was flat Earth for me, the best part is I can go to like a dinner with people I don't know, whether it's for other people, friends, or like with our kids' friends. And we're all different. Like I'm in production, but I'm not a union guy. And he's a doctor, and he's a musician, and he's a businessman. He's real estate. You're all kind of different, but your kids bring you together. You're on this new journey. Those situations, you sit there. I don't want to sit awkwardly, and I don't want to talk like dark conspiracy. So I'm like, I'll bring it up somehow. I'll be like, I'm doing a thing. Like it's been easy. I'm doing a thing on the flat Earth right now. Yeah. And then they want to talk about that. Yeah. You kind of unpack it, but and then it becomes a fun conversation because I don't take it serious. Yeah. In the sense that I'd be offended. You don't believe it. Yeah. I kind of know some of these beliefs are a stretch. Most of the reasons that I push them and talk about them is I want smarter people to tell me what they think so I can figure out what I think. Mm-hmm. I'm always just wondering what everyone else thinks. Trying to figure out.
Well, and ultimately, when people ask me what my show about, like that's exactly what my show's about. Is conversations with people that think differently than me and know some vastly different experience of information. That's what informs me to be the version I am as I continue to grow. So, like, what's your show about?
You're more of like, I would say what your show is about is I've always thought you're like it's like Americana, but not like in the Pawn Star or like picking antiques world. Yeah, but you can do that. Not in the football sports world, but you can do that. Not in the motorcycle world. I would say you're motorcycle Americana, meaning like you build, you're construction, you're like outdoors, lifestyle, but then you're fitness, and you're like motorcycles, and you're like Hollywood. Yeah. Because those are like different. Like Hollywood and motorcycles aren't
doesn't that still encompass the same thing I described?
the best friends.
I find individuals like yourself that I've always entertained conversations with you because you think so differently than me.
I'm not Americana, despite being from the South as well.
Yeah.
In the same way.
Louisiana.
Yeah, in the same way that you are.
Hey, Peyton.
Where you like navigate it. Oh, the leash is right there. Remember Meg? Meg, remember Stephanie from the wedding? From the wedding in Nashville. We have some guests walk through. The Americana view is like so you do interesting people, you say, but also
so let's go back to the show. The show as you guys are preparing, you don't have a list of like boxes to check, but after 10 years as a flat earther, you've kind of like you've already run through the things that we can't.
Yeah, I did have a box. I was like, well, if the sun doesn't set in Antarctica, because I knew it did in one of them. Flat Earth was always like, it's a flat Earth because the sun in Antarctica, in the Arctic, in the north doesn't set. And in Flat Earth, the Arctic is the dead center. Mm-hmm. It's the magnetic north, so all compasses point to that. There's like a black rock in the north, we kind of say. Mm-hmm. There's 4 little continents that are hidden, and the compass points there, right? It doesn't point to like celestial north on a thing. We did an experiment for that too. Because it would change inclination, but we won't talk. There were experiments that round earthers, globers were doing, and there were observations and experiments the flat earthers were doing, and I could look into who was doing what. They had been announcing them by the time I was brought in.
Because you're covering everybody's...
Yeah, I'm just going to tell the story, and really it's not an interesting story to just do like a very clinical, go and do experiments and show it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be anything that would hold like a glober who doesn't care about the flat earth world's attention. What they do care about is like where everyone puts it in that box. Mm-hmm. And that was another thing we should say was the flat earthers had been, Jaron was already in the Netflix Behind the Curve. And Austin, another guy, Whitsett is like he's more like me than just a flat earthist. He's like around in a lot of scope of things, activism, politics, conspiracy, flat earth. And so those two guys had like, reasonable reservations as to why they didn't want to be in another hit piece like Jaron had been. Like if you watch, it's genuinely, I'm not talking shit on the Netflix Behind the Curve, but they didn't give them the same respect that they gave.
They went into it ready to roast those guys.
Yeah, they went into a roast. It was to be comedy.
Yeah.
And so it was like, for me, it was like, I hated that in that doc.
You wanted to be a little more objective and... Yeah,
there's a guy... I'm trying to think of his name. His name's Enoch of Flat Earth, I think, on TikTok. His name's Nathan. Is it Nathan Oakley? I might be confusing.
I don't know.
He's a flat earther. He's in it. They've got him juggling hammers, and he said he wasn't offended by it. He's got a ball between 2 hammers, and he's juggling them. That's how they did his interview. Whereas they did like a clinical psychologist to comment on flat earth mentality.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't show him having an affair with his wife or like playing like bocce ball or whatever his real identity is, not to make that claim that he's either of those things.
Right.
But they didn't show his dirty laundry or his like character, which would have been more interesting, at least if you would have told those people as kooky.
Yeah.
And then I'm trusting them. That would have been more fair.
They set him up for failure.
They set him up for failure. They made him look. So I was like, I'm going to interview everyone fairly. And I had like criteria. I'm going to go in. I couldn't bring anybody. It was so expensive just for me. I had 2 bags. Mm-hmm. So I had to go in. And I wanted to interview them in Chile when we were all, because we're only going to be in this 10 days together. Guys from the East Coast, guys from the United States, Minnesota, Denver, South Carolina, Florida, 2 of us in California, an Australian and an English, and Tennessee. So we're not close. So we're all flying in. And I wanted to interview everyone fairly right when I meet them in Antarctica. Expectations, what do you think of the flat earth? What do you think of the globe? What could change your mind? What are your predictions? Are we going to see a 24/7?
Is this a 50-50 split of the crew?
Yeah, if you include me and Will, because Will put it on, he's a glober.
Yeah.
I was filming, I'm a flat earther.
Yeah.
Mark Herman was a glober. He was coming to observe and try to set up a live stream for Candace. Dave McKeegan was the biggest online globe advocate. Flat Earth debunker. Mm-hmm. Mike Toon was another guy that had kickstarted with I can't remember his name, but another guy did Kickstarters to pay their own way because Will, the organizer, was only going to pay for like a flat earth and a glober, and then that changed. But So Mike MC Toon, Dave McKeegan, Will, and then Critical Think, who came from Australia. Those are the Globers. He's like a jet engine propulsion rocket F-fighter jet specialist, scientist, Glober, doing science. So I was like, okay, he's qualified. And then the flat earthers like us, like Jaron and then Witset were the two big ones that they have followings.
And they're big in the community already.
Big in the community. There's a community where they like go back and forth. They're super engaged. And it's like a community of people that are trying to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Which we call Globers, because most people, like civilians, not in that conversation.
Yeah.
You're just not in you might say it on your own Facebook, but they're having it with each other.
Right.
They're on like a YouTube channel called Real American Debate, I think, where they just put two people and they have a moderator and they debate. They come up with rules, they debate. And they go head to head. And it gets personal. And this is the first time a lot of them are coming together.
Right.
So we get to Chile. I wanted to interview him.
Is everybody respectful at this point? Everybody's
that's
just like,
part of the story too. That's what was interesting to me. So like to make a film about it, it's not going to be holding people's attention who don't care about that debate. As rabid as that community is, I got to follow what's interesting about these people. So from the start, this is probably my strength is I am in so many different groups that I don't have a problem getting them to communicate. So being a flat earther, I think I was a good choice because I knew I had to prove to them from the start. They thought I was a shill too.
Yeah.
They thought I was a setup. Everyone's suspect. Nobody knows Will. They're all coming together suspect, not the Globers. They're just figuring they're going to come do their thing. Everybody's suspect of each other, myself included.
Is that a predisposition of somebody that might hold some of these beliefs?
What do you mean by that?
Like conspiracies, like conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, you're thinking everyone. So
you always you side eye everything.
Yeah, all the way into Antarctica. I had doubts, and I brought a little vlog camera to do my own side vlogging.
Yeah. I
take notes because I'm operating multiple cameras, time lapse. So I'm taking notes with something that's just on me.
Right.
And I can use it if I need to be in it because it's like a vlog quality. So half the time I'm pulling the camera out, I'm walking down the street. I'm like, it's early in the morning, and I'm like, I'm suspect. It's, something happened and this and then that, and I'm like constantly thinking I'm being set up for like being punked.
Yeah.
Like it's not, we're not really going, you're the only flat earther.
Yeah.
Because he was very specific. I had to like admit that and he could publicly say it. So those guys as well were coming together. There was doubt. That was the interest of it. And that ended up being really interesting. Mm-hmm. I think that's like a really profound journey too, because the story is a story of like identity and truth. Mm-hmm. It's a choice and it's a journey. And like even my conspiracy, I think a lot of things come down to where you're coming from to get to where you're at and what you saw on the way. It could be astrology. I mean, astrology really that profound to say you're born in a season and then you go wherever that season is on the planet where we live, you're going to experience weather.
Yeah.
So if you're born in the winter, you're like a little baby and it's just getting warmer and you're getting like, oh, this is okay. This is cool. And then you get to a point where it's like so hot and you're like, okay, it could go the other way now. It's like and then it gets better again. You're like, that's how you approach life. You're probably optimistic. If you're born in like the perfect time of year between a season, like, this is great life. I'm a naked baby. People are feeding me. And then it gets hotter and you're like, what's going on? I don't like this. And then it gets better and you're like, no, it's okay. I like it, but is it going to get worse? And then it gets cold and you're like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. You're a pessimist, right? Astrology, flat earth. If you're consuming that information and going down that journey, you're like, yeah, there's some bullshit, but there's some truth. And like, yeah, the guys that are quick to dismiss just one truth, guys that are like, well, no, how do you explain this then? And then not looking in with wonder and astonishment to some of the other things,
right?
Which I think flat earthers do really well. We have a lot of wonderment. You're like, a lot of flat earthers are like, the idea you can't get around. You're the center of creation on an infinite plane. It's not this explosion where life came and then it's luck and happenstance heading towards maybe nothingness again. The flat earth can't accept that because you're in the center of a sun that doesn't make sense, with a moon that doesn't make sense, then ice. Nothing makes sense. You're like in a captivity here. You have free choice. You can choose just about anything you want to do and be.
How often do some of those, that wonderment that, all right, I've aligned my beliefs to send me this direction, which can be, changed and redirected or whatever, but like you then run into a conflicting statement or another belief that then you have to also accept, and then like, all right, well, if this, then
What's
that.
the joy of it? Like, you don't have to accept anything. Like, then it takes me to questioning, which is like another project we did in story, but like, we call it staying in honor, where to stay in honor is to not claim something. Because the minute you claim something, like, this is where my drink goes.
Yeah.
I just was like an asshole for no reason.
Right.
There's plenty of table space, or if it's like in a spot where there's no room, I could ask a question to stay in honor and get the same thing across, which is, would it be okay if I put my glass where it usually goes? Mm-hmm. That's kind of a claim. Would it be okay if I put my glass there? And then you move it, I ask, there's no claim, no asshole, high five, we're friends. So the claim thing I take to the flat earth. Like,
well, and previous to that, just a side note, how far have you taken the claim statement?
Oh, I've taken it all the way.
All the way to court.
Well, aren't we always at court with ourselves? Aren't we holding court whenever two or more are gathered among rights?
If you say so.
Yeah, it's like it's all an agreement. We can agree to that.
Yeah.
Court's just an agreement.
He had a conversation with the judge that looked at him.
I wouldn't claim this, but let's. Yeah.
And as it stood, he said,
I'll claim some things. I mean, one time I was asked a judge how to prove he had a name. I'm curious, how do you prove you own a name?
I didn't agree to that name.
Yeah, how could you prove? Well, did you?
If you say so.
No, you should ask it.
I don't know. See, I didn't read the cliff notes.
To stay in honor, you'd be like, well, did you say so?
Did you say so?
Yeah, did you claim I own a name?
Yeah, imagine just a few beers in this conversation. It's very enjoyable. And so we had these for the last...
I don't even need the beers. I can get
15, there. Oh, no, those were my beers. But like 15 years of just having great conversations. So you're in Antarctica. You're objectively
So questions. You were saying, though, like predispositions or whatever. No, that's the thing is like when you get Globers and Flatters when you get two people that argue on the internet through proxy, when you get them in the same room, they have to be court. Most of the time, they're not there to fight.
Well, because they're not lunatics.
They're just enraged. They're just now they're
no longer a keyboard warrior.
They generally want truth too.
Yeah.
And like sometimes when you're in a debate, there's like people don't on both sides just don't want to let go of the next thing they want to say. So they're not like thinking about the math. Plus, you have to trust the hearsay of someone else telling you what they've done. And experiments are tough. Like if you wanted to film one experiment that's simple, you could take a white light filter, which is like an eclipse filter you put on your camera to look at an eclipse, like same as those lenses, super dark. And you film the sun in focus, you can see sunspots. You could film the sun all day, right? For 12 hours from where it rises to the noon to the end of the day. You have to also be in a place where you have that, you can see the sunrise unobstructed all over your view and set. I mean, you can't do that here. You can't do that in most neighborhoods, houses, right? Cities. Because you can't see. So just doing the simplest of those experiments, it takes a lot of effort.
Right.
It's easier to just be like, no, I think the sun changes because I saw a video where the video shows a sun coming towards you and get bigger or smaller when it goes away.
Right.
On a time lapse, which we did that experiment. So like you're forced on this trip, they're forced to do and observe together. So that's kind of what the trip was. We went to Antarctica. I come back. The interesting thing about Antarctica and what's interesting about this movie was the flat earth and the internet, as we're there, they didn't accept it.
They've already
from the minute we did our first live
vetted
stream,
you, and they go, nope.
Yeah. So, and it's like diving into that is, 6 months after now, I'm going online and people are still telling me ideas and things we didn't do, things I can't comprehend, that I'm like, some of them I'm like, wow, I'm giving it thought. And then some of them are I'm like, yeah, maybe, I'm like, you're kind of like, I'm going to need you to unpack that more. The things we saw though are tough too. I mean, 24-hour sun, it's hard to explain.
So you came back a flat earther.
Well, I came back and I decided before I went, I'm a flat earther going, the documentary is going to speak to all my thoughts.
Okay.
Because I'm not really getting specific right now. I'm just giving you a
well, and to be fair to myself, I can entertain all conversations and questions, and much like you say, understanding and accepting someone's hearsay, I haven't spent my life in the last 10 years being a flat earther to have even these thoughts.
It was exciting. What was exciting
you're going to say things that I just have to take at face value and just assume.
That was probably why I was also a good pick, I think, to bring. Because like I enjoy it's like sport. It's like the dinner table conversation. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what you're doing. I have to film it.
Yeah.
And then, that sort of stuff. But it's also it's the journey of those people. It's my journey. It's sort of like I was saying earlier about the studio and what like the bitterness of seeing someone else use a catchphrase or a log line. It's like a love story to flat earth, or it's like a love story to truth.
Yeah.
Because in a way, I do love the conversation no matter where it goes.
Are you able to objectively have that where you see something that may be making you go like proving your theory wrong, but you still have to dedicate that time to the same attention?
Because I'm ultimately after the truth, so I don't want anyone to be wrong. Like if I'm wrong, I always will correct it.
Right.
There's no emotion. Like even if I like.
Well, are you a common? I would say you're an anomaly then for the traditional.
I think a lot of people look, you're either invested or you're indifferent.
Yeah.
Or then you're in the middle and you're like consuming it, like a connoisseur of it.
Right.
You're entertained by it.
You're along for the ride.
Yeah. So like, I don't care what way a certain thing goes. I just go with the rage it incites first. I'm like, what? I'm being deceived about where we live?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let me figure this out.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, you think this? Well, no, what about this? And then, oh, what about that? Okay, what about that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll put, okay, this. So yeah, I'm not upset. I'm not going to go out of my way to apologize for being wrong in ancient times.
Right.
Because I think you are allowed to change your mind. Again, we come back to the choice, staying in honor. Like I can change my mind right now about something I just was told. And be like, no, you're right. That is a quicker way to get to the 405. I would take Santa Monica Boulevard. No, you could change your mind. That's part of the game.
Well, that's my experience in life too. Is grace is the term I use in that sense.
Grace.
You got to let people grow, and let
mercy to grow.
Absolutely.
Forgiveness, staying in honor is all about. We'll go back to that, like the love of reason. Staying in honor it's like.
Which is a film that's coming out.
Yeah, it's another film we're doing.
TBD.
Yeah, soon.
Trailer coming soon.
Yeah, I should do a trailer for that one, and I haven't yet.
I know, it's time.
Because I kind of backed up to the Antarctica.
Your boy's in it.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
That was a fun. We have like the credits list is so big for an indie film. Like over 100 people.
Still in production.
To make it. Well, yeah, it's in post. It's almost done. It's done basically. To stay in honor, like to change your mind, to make a decision, you have to sometimes forgive someone. You have to sometimes, this is the line, can you forgive yourself? Can you let go of the fact that you have to forgive someone you don't think deserves it? You're making a judgment on someone, they don't deserve forgiveness. This guy's always an asshole. Can you forgive yourself for being like, forgive them? Because you like, let it go. If I forgive the asshole, and then I forgive myself for forgiving the asshole, it's like a double.
Well, so that's how I've understood.
It's like a crutch.
I've grown with grace as such because I wouldn't be able to grow in life if I ever held the same type of judgments I hold for others. And so the sooner I let go of mine for you is the sooner I can let go of them for me. And that's what allows me to continue to grow and expand and ask questions, take chances, make mistakes.
Well, plus it's the only way you're really free.
Yeah.
Whether it's between jurisdiction of like a so-called court or a so-called judge. What is a so-called judge?
If you say.
Yeah, I mean, like whoever is, if you're going to be judged, if you're going to judge someone, then you're opening yourself.
The only one that I, think should have any, legal standing is Judy.
Who's Judy?
Bro.
Judy?
Judge Judy.
Oh, Judge Judy. Oh.
Low-hanging fruit. Sorry. So we're in Antarctica.
I'll comment since Judge Judy's still out there. I think
she's not far today. She's just down Gower.
I think what's profound about Judge Judy and those types was in a position of authority. She was like the judge video that you always got where it was like, there's the old man. He's like 86 and he's got a speeding ticket. And there's another old judge that's like his age. And he's like, so you were doing 65 and a 33. And he's like, yeah, I was, Your Honor. He said, what was going on? He's like, it's my father, Your Honor. Something. I had to rush to get him to the hospital. He's like, your father? How old's your father? He's like, 96. He's like, how old are you? Like 83. He's like, you're 83, you still taking care of your father? And the guy's like, yeah, he's on meds. I was rushing. It's hard for me to drive and get around. He's like, you were doing that? He's like, dismisses the case. I forget how he does it, but he's like, no. He's like, you're no charges. Like, take care of your father. Try to stay in the speed limit. Judge Judy did that a lot. She also got mad at the people who sassed her and made claims.
Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining.
You're in there for one controversy. I ran over your yard from my side of the driveway and messed up the grass. Don't throw the kitchen sink into it about her, cursing in front of kids or like being just a jerk and to you and around a family event. Like that's the sink. The controversies here kind of come to honor as be like, whoa, would you forgive me if I fixed the yard and paid for the grass? Judge Judy's gonna like that.
Yeah. Well,
she's going to look at you and be like, are you going to stay in honor and accept that? All you should be mad about is the grass. Don't throw the kitchen sink that you don't like his loud music, even though he's legally allowed to play it till midnight. You're throwing kitchen sink things into it. That's what makes Judge Judy, clip this one out. That's what makes a Judge Judy so profound.
Yeah.
She's likable. We're all like, she's handling it. King Solomon, 2 babies. Should we talk about that?
Cut it in half.
Mercy. The King Solomon story is like a theme in my life, which is, and I'll present a paradox. If you don't know the story, it's two women fighting over a baby. One of them's got the baby, and the other one wants the baby back. So the judge, Solomon, he's the king, he's the wise king. He has to decide who's, the rightful mother. And so he says, okay, well, since you're both claiming to be the mother, I'll cut the baby in half. Mm-hmm. Now, one woman who's currently got possession of the baby, she's like, would rather have the baby cut in half than the other person get the baby. Like, no. Either I take care of this baby, you cut this baby in half. We each get half. Let's do that. The other woman's like, no way. If that's the judgment, like, fuck you, Solomon.
Right.
That's a shitty judgment, because that's what most people would be judging the judge. She's like, no, fuck you, but fine. This is unfair. Let her keep the baby. I'd rather the baby be alive. The wisdom of Solomon changed my mind to, all of a sudden, well, no, actually, I was just asking what you would do. Since you would take care of it and you would cut in half, you're the rightful mother. Now, here's the paradox and plot twist. What if that's just a nosy neighbor who knows this woman's a crazy, not feeding the kid, not taking care of it. And all she wants is she's going to lie to claim it's her baby just to get the baby safely away from that baby. That's the rightful mother to take care of that baby in that situation. Because this one's going to just kill it. She's ready to cut it in half, or she's not the rightful mother. Something's off. Mm-hmm. I'm not claiming either of those situations are right, that people should have their kids taken.
Well, fortunately, he was the wisest of the kings, so...
Yeah, and so that's everything. It's like, who's going to do what's best for this, for like, society?
Well, so then taking that
you get what I'm saying?
Taking that theme to Antarctica, we're out here to prove theories one way or another, and we're going to bring it back to society. And this is an opportunity for flat earthers and globers alike to then go run through a few of these specifics. You're down there and you're now recording and
yeah, there was like one guy had like 16 experiments he was doing. Another guy had like 4 of them. One guy was just excited to do those experiments.
Well, and so what's the vibe, the feeling? People are showing up excited. The globers are like, I mean, I guess we'll just go do the thing we think is going to happen. And the flat earthers are like, finally, some vindication.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone was going to Antarctica. Most people didn't pay for it.
And so they're just like free trip sick.
Yeah, first side of it's like Antarctica. It's like, it's either the outside of the rim, which I'm like, okay, it's either the outside of the rim and they're going to try to use a fake sun. I did think that. There is a company you can hire that has like mirrors on a satellite. And if you want, you're in like a northern climate where they don't get a lot of...
Get that Elon money.
They'll just bounce it. They'll be like, okay, we'll give you 8 hours of the sun bounced on your little neighborhood. And it really will light up. That's a thing. And they filmed it.
You're going to have to send me a link to that. I'm not hip to that one.
I forget what it's called, but I will. I mean, you should clip all these to some
Well, I mean,
extent.
even as you describe it, like I can understand how that could be a thing. Like that,
But you can tell, and so there's experiments like the white light filter. You can see sunspots on the sun. Mm-hmm. We're looking at a compass. We're really going south. We have like the flight telemetry. Mm-hmm. We have the airplanes giving it as well. We're looking out the windows. We're flying there. I don't have my compass on now. It's broke, but I've been holding the little snap rope. But the compass works. Now, it's a shitty compass I took all the way. South, the whole flight. Sometimes south to the left, south to the right. But we're flying south. Yeah. 11 and a half hours from LA to Sydney, to Santiago. 4 hours from, Santiago to Punta Arenas is 3.5 hours. Punta Arenas to Antarctica is 4 hours. We're going south. We went south. We're all excited. We all had a lot of fun. I think everybody had fun.
Light banter. People are
tons of banter. It was tons of banter, good and bad. Like it was, people were like raptors, bro.
Feeling each other out. Yeah.
Testing that fence, and too far sometimes, but.
From which camp?
Everybody, at some point in time, everybody had like a button pushed,
Well, because flight, like everybody's traveling, that's exhausting.
Yeah,
itself.
that's
You're
my
coming
point.
from
Is
different
things
places.
go wrong.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like you said something that pissed me off. It was more like, fuck, I forgot to pack it.
Yeah, okay.
And then you're like scrambling, or like it's not doing what it's supposed to, or you're just flat out,
As it goes.
Yeah, as it goes. And so everybody was like super excited, really having fun. Getting to Antarctica, it's all that stuff, the wonderment. There was the experiments, there was the people, the camaraderie. Really like seeing a place like that, like Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions is the company. Mm-hmm. They're in Punta Arenas in Salt Lake City, travel and logistics company. They basically handle everything from Punta to Antarctica and back. They build and maintain the Blue Ice Runway. Every year they build and tear down on the glacier, the camp, Union Glacier Camp. They have these sleds, these trucks.
Is that to lessen impact and just be like respectful?
Well, you don't stay there in the winter because it's totally dark for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then there's some light for 6 months. And then you see the sun doing this around the sky counterclockwise for probably like a month.
Well, so give me one of
They
those.
physically see the whole thing.
Give me a specific instance of like what was a conversation between a globist and a flat earther when something like that took place. Like, it hasn't gone down yet, and they're looking at their watch. Like, what?
Well, I'll give me and Mark Herman, because we were already friends. Every time I'd see something, I'd be like, Mark, are you a flat earther yet? And he would just be like, no. Like, okay.
So
it was like,
what would that evidence be that you saw or didn't see that would?
It was mostly them looking at me as a flat earther being like, what do you think, mate? And I'm like, yeah, that's compelling.
So what is one specific thing?
Well, seeing the 24-hour sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about the three things, like the map for me, there's a map, and there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of things I'm on the fence about we could talk about, but the map, the AE map is like, it shows, you want me to show you?
Please.
Should I just pull it up so we can see it?
Pull it up, yeah.
The AE map is basically the Alexander Gleason map, and it's from like 1858 or something like that. Let me pull it up. I don't know why my phone is so incredibly slow. Let's turn off Wi-Fi. Probably because there's a lot of people on them. Okay, so this is the AE map. I don't want to look at eBay. I just want to see the image.
Okay.
This is the AE map.
Right.
And we can show it to the camera too.
So just for reference, get in there. We'll just put a link in the bio.
So from this map, Australia's top left. So our flight, you got to fly from Sydney to Santiago. Mm-hmm. You go right over Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the things for me that was like a flat earth thing that I was holding on to is flight paths.
Right.
The closest flight path from Santiago to Sydney flies directly over Los Angeles. It's like a 14-hour flight from Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia. Right. And it was like 11 and a half from Santiago to Los Angeles and back, or from LA to Santiago. So 11 and a half plus 14, that's like 24, 25 hours. Well, critical think came from Sydney. I haven't taken this flight yet. I feel like I need to really wrap the doc up. But he flew from Sydney to Santiago, and it was like a 12-hour flight.
And you had been in conversation with him?
Direct. Yeah, he filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's like a whole 12-hour time lapse of it. And so that doesn't make sense because his flight and the LA flights he's going from Sydney to Santiago like this around a globe. And I'm going like this on a flat earth map or on a globe. So he would have to go from here to me like that if this was, because like in the flat earth map, it's like a pizza pie or a dartboard. The closer you are to the bullseye is a point. So if you were to go up the point a little and measure from like part of the pizza here to here, that's shorter than the crust to crust end to end.
Fair.
So flat earth, it gets wider towards the crust as you get on the lines of longitude that go out. The latitude, maybe I'm confusing, the latitude goes around. So the further you go out, the longer the distance is of each line of latitude that intersects. So on a flat earth map, it would have meant he would have to fly this much longer distance.
So from the get, he shows up and you're like,
so from the get, the night before the trip.
Interesting.
The night before the trip, I was like on my laptop in bed. I'm all packed. I've been packing and unpacking for a week, and I've gotten Stephanie's next to me. She's like, what are you doing? You got to go to bed. You're flying out at 9 a.m. And I'm like, I had a map of the AE map open, and I had all the continents as like little layers in Photoshop that I could manipulate. And I was taking flight paths and making rulers that I could manipulate. And so an inch equaled like 1,000 miles, and 1,000 miles equaled like a certain hour or a half, 2 hours of flying time. So I was trying to measure it. And I was like, maybe Australia, instead of being like
You were trying to make it make sense.
I was trying to change the shape of continents. Like, okay, maybe Australia goes much further.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just this huge thing.
Sweet.
We got some coffees. Let's just
But
cheers
Jesus.
into this. Figure out where we were.
Hey, go Patriots.
Patriot. Oh yeah, Bulldogs.
What do you got?
Patriots. Yeah.
And just like that, we're back in. Where were we?
Where were we?
We're in Antarctica, and you're about to prove the world how right you are.
Well, and even more than that, it was like we're in Antarctica. Where did I put my drink?
Which one?
My little shot. I thought it was over here. It's gone. Doesn't matter. Okay. But I'm back. So, yeah, we were in Antarctica.
At this point, you got some people checking over you, like checking your status every now and then. You the map. You're at the AE map that you now try to.
The AE map. I was saying, yeah. So I was, just to take it back, I was the night before, like things that like made me as a flat earther be like, oh, okay. The flight paths, that was one of them, because it was like we always were thinking and kind of reading and seeing that, if you look at flight paths, they don't fly necessarily over Antarctica, because why would you have a commercial flight do that? The risk of it having to land and stuff, or it's not possible. But like if you were to fly from Cape Town, South Africa to like Sao Paulo, Brazil, you fly up through Dubai. There's like a hub. Granted, it's closer here. There's not a lot of people going from Sao Paulo that have a lot of business in
justify
Cape Town.
that trip.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not a business. They're not business hubs. They're like places. So like the journeys or vacation or travel or, they're not bringing like those. Not a big Cape Town influence in South America, and not a big South American influence in South Africa.
Right.
Different things. Different economic hubs are closer.
Reasons for travel.
Yeah. So I guess that's why. But there was always this flight from Taiwan to California, Los Angeles, that had to have an emergency landing because of a pregnancy. I think it was in 98, or maybe it was 2018. It had to have an emergency landing in Alaska. Now on a globe, you're like, well, if it's flying from Taiwan to LA, you just fly around the globe like this. But it flies north, up, and over, which means you're closer to Alaska. Now on a flat Earth map, Taiwan goes straight to Alaska, straight to LA.
And so you guys use that as a piece of
evidence. It's the same, Taiwan, if you went from Alaska to LA, the other way to Taiwan would just keep going to Australia. That's a straight line. So you're like, oh, that's a hub.
And so that was something that you would use then to say, all right, well, you would
say, okay, well, they're not doing it. Clearly, that's another indication, because airplanes don't go out of their way. One thing that would be interesting, though, I just thought of, is you would have longitudinal hubs of commerce. If planes flew on the AE map, all towards like London, right, over Rome, you should be able to look at a flat Earth map of live flight data, like the conversion. You should see those planes, majority of them flying on thicker lines for closer access, and then other planes are just flying little straight lines out for the most part, or diagonal twos.
Well, you can put that together for your next test.
No, I'm just surprised that's something I just thought of.
Well, so the night before you're doing that, you're already like starting to like, okay, well, interesting, but now you're on the plane, you're on the way.
And then we went, and obviously like we had the most beautiful clear blue skies the whole trip. And you saw the sun. I have a time lapse I show people made by Dave McKeegan that he's already put on YouTube, which is like, he used a 360 camera. It's got two bubbles.
Insta360?
Yeah, no, Insta360 X4. Yeah, Insta. And he tracks the sun. It's crazy. It kind of does a wobble, so it's like lower on the south side and then higher up when it's close to you. And it has the inverse effect. When it was higher up, you would think it was closer to you and above, like a flat Earth map would be. If it's small, it's far away on the horizon until it eventually vanishing points out. Directly over you, high noon means it's directly over. The whole world's looking towards where it's over you. It's only over that one spot at one time.
So then,
but it was colder. It was actually colder when the sun was higher in the sky, and it was warmer because there's like a small fluctuation of light. And as a camera person, I was shooting at an f14 when it was warmer because there was more light because the sun was
Closer.
closer versus when it was higher and the sun was
Further.
But it looked closer when it was further. It looked further when it was closer. Well, it didn't look, it was the same size actually, but the perspective of it being on the north towards Chile, it would be like high. It would be like this part of the day was high up and then it comes low down. This is like the orbit it's doing.
Well, so you've had then a couple of these experiences, and then to just jump us ahead a little bit, you come back. All right, you're back and you're sharing some of these findings. Like the full film isn't shared yet, but
Even before coming.
because you were live streaming along the way.
Yeah, Will was. Didn't get into live streaming. So I came back and I had a TikTok account with 150, 200 people on it. And I was just kind of learning those clipping programs to clip it out. And I wanted to have, I was using TikTok, so I wanted to have a place where I could see what it looked like. Because this is, again, jack of all trades, filmmaker. You pick up these skills to sell to other people. Everything's like, or like to put it part of your package of how you like make content or deliver it or whatever these days. So I'm like experimenting that, and I do go to Flat Earth. And the last day, I'm like, fuck, I haven't done any video because I was filming or sitting down interviewing someone or eating nonstop, slept like very little the whole trip. But you're constantly like going, it's beautiful. So I wanted to take advantage of the 4 or 5 days we were going to be on the ice. So the last day after we packed up, after I shot all my B-roll for the movie of the location, which means just going around and shooting the atmosphere of the main camp, I took out my iPhone and I was like doing like those, hey, I'm a private chef in the Hamptons. And then they cook something. Yeah. But they start every video off. Hi. So I work on yachts, and everyone's always, and so I was like, hey, welcome to Antarctica. And I just walked around the camp and made a bunch of little videos. And one of them was, hey, welcome to Antarctica. There's a mountain, Mount Rossmore, that's right behind us. From our camp, you see like the tents go to the distance, and it looks like the last tent, which is probably like a football field away from where you're at, 100 yards. Last tents are all lined up. They're all symmetrical. Then this mountain starts and their kind of shade comes up to it. And you're like, wow, if I just keep walking past the tents, I could probably go on a hike and try to hike that mountain. I'm sure people have done it, which is why they tell you now not to. Because it's 2 kilometers. Yeah. So you're hiking through snow, crevasses. We're on a glacier. What I was saying was they set up the camp every year under Mount Rossmore, but the glacier, the blue ice runway is on and the camp's on. It comes off the Antarctic plateau. You can see it from where I'm at. It moves 72 feet a year. It's like 3 meters a month or so, or a day or something. It's like constantly moving. So they've set up the camp in September and they tear down in March. And then they come back the next year and that's like 100 feet away. Because they want to be parallel under the camp with it's wind blockage protection. Right. It's why they've been doing it there. It's close to the airport. So I did a couple of these videos on the way back in Chile. I posted one up, and this is where I kind of got the bug for like viral stuff or like the internet because I've been making content forever. I put them up. I never expected my own work
to hit.
Yeah, I did stuff that hit like behind the scenes or like when I was doing One Tree Hill. We were early days putting up podcasts on RSS and putting up videos on Windows Media. We were getting numbers. And then I did some YouTube stuff with some bands, getting numbers, but it was like I expected it. It was like a Warner show or like an Atlantic Def Jam record signed touring group. So like you put them up, it's like, oh, I hope they get 100,000 views in a month or whatever. This I put up, and we get back to Chile. It's one of like 10 videos I had, and maybe the third video I put up, and all of a sudden I'm like, guys, I have like 50,000 views on this thing, and I have like 300 likes, and it only been like 6 hours, and they're all looking at me because they all have like viral. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's getting bit by the bug. It's happening." But it spoke more profoundly to me about like the engagement of the subject. Right. I knew people were talking about it. There's a stat, Romson poll: 60% of United States polled people believe have questioned the NASA official model globe solar system. So I knew that, but I didn't know
they didn't call me, but
I didn't know that they never polled me. I've never had a Nielsen's box or any of that shit. But so I was just making that up. This is a more popular show. my show.
Yeah.
But I got, so like in like 2 days, I was up to like 300,000 views. And then like, I remember going to the airport and I was at 500,000 views, like thousands of likes and comments. And I'm like, holy shit, Will, what have we done? Like, look at all these, and they're all guessing. What was good was they're all guessing how far in like a viral clip, you want people to engage.
Yeah.
Because the more they like and share it and comment on it, the algorithms, gods, I guess, are in there like boop, doop, boop, like sending it.
Yep.
So for every person that would ask how far it was, I wouldn't tell them yes or no. I'd be like, close, good try. Oh man, yeah. I would just make a comment like they were saying a cloud looked like the Nope movie cloud, which is a UFO. So I would like put the UFO, they'd be like, that cloud, nope. You know, like they'd say, nope, or what is that? Is that a UFO? And I would just lay into it to get them to laugh or LOL back. And like I just kept watching this thing climb. And I dug into that more as I came home and I started editing and I started getting invited onto these other live streamers' channels. I start to see, and while we're in Antarctica, you start to see like people don't believe anything changed. A lot of them, there was a huge exodus, I think, of people. Like we've kind of...
Because of some of these profound flat earthers are then like losing a little of their base. They're like,
yeah, well,
you've changed, man.
Yeah, they were mad at me. So I would go on a TikTok. I happened to sit in my first like stream clip. I came down for coffee and Mike Toon and Dave McKeegan were sitting on a live stream in this little offset room of the cafeteria of our hotel. Mm-hmm. And my time schedule was off for editing and shooting. So I was awake. Dave hadn't been in the room in a couple hours. I felt like I was missing fun because people had been outside and, you know, doing stuff. We're back in Chile. So I go down to get a coffee to kind of wake up, and then they're there and they're like, come sit in. And I'm like, yeah, sit in. So I sit in there, and on these live streams, they've got people asking questions and talking, chatting. And people start engaging them from TikTok. And I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing my video climb, but I'm also seeing the live stream I'm in on multiple other people are clipping it already while we're live.
Right.
Or like re-streaming it and commenting it. So one of those groups, when I'm home, I start to listen to, and then eventually in the comments I go, hey, they're talking about the final experiment. And I'm like, hey, I was on the trip. I'll answer any questions. And then they're like, prove it. Some guy's in the chat saying it. I'm like, well, look at my page. I just posted these videos, throwing more likes to that viral video, which didn't really have that effect. They had all seen it. They're like, oh yeah, I reckon this guy. There was a controversy with a green screen where my jacket keyed out. That went crazy. People thought we were green screening it.
Yeah.
And so they started letting me up on these panels. There'd be like 6 to 9 people, and one main window you could share video, and then they're talking, and they would let me up, and then people in the chat or on the panel would start asking me questions or like kind of attacking me, like asking me for my social security number, my business, where I was born, what hospital.
Is this guy real?
Yeah, is he a Mason? They wanted me to like swear on Masons. And I'm like, I'm not gonna swear on anybody's life. They're like, well, that means you're a Mason because Masons aren't allowed to swear on anyone's life. I'm like, well, that defaults.
So you're finding yourself into these different little subsections of the internet that then are trying to vilify you for the experiments that you went out and participated in.
Like you said, like their community now had people questioning it. And in a way it brought them some good too, because I was watching these chats and they were live streaming for like 24 hours, just sitting in a room talking.
That's healthy.
Well, they had moderators and different people at different shifts would come in. And so I would always come in at night because I'd wait till the girls were asleep here, and then I had free time, and I would I'd make a drink, I'd be editing like the end of the day. So I'm like watching footage, I'd listen, and then I'd go up, and then I'd start talking. And I found that if I would listen and take I wasn't emotional like the flat earthers who came back were being called shills. People were like just one after the other would get on. You have to understand. They're like, how much did you get paid? How much did Will pay you? You're lying.
Yeah.
No, I know that's a lie. You'd answer a question honestly. No, I know you're lying because. And so if I had built a community like some of these guys, flat earthers or debunkers did, and all of a sudden now you've got turmoil. Mm-hmm. Before you had a lot of people at least were like watching your videos, but also positive about them. And you would go debate on other channels, or you'd get some slack from like some other people from their channels, and you could choose or not to go engage or in the comments. But now their own people are turning because it's like we've thrown this riff into it. I mean, Joe Rogan's mentioned it, Lex Friedman's on his, Chris Williamson, Candace Owens, Tim Pool. Tim Pool is going to send Alex Stein, Primetime Alex Stein, 1099.
Okay.
He's kind of a comedian, political agitator, pundit, smart guy, fun. But he wanted to go. He got scared. That's kind of the seat that opened up for me.
Got it.
I think Will was going to have him come and make content. And then I offered a doc, and there was like a long-term goal that he could like reach more audiences, and maybe we could fund another experiment. Because Will kind of seems like he wants to do more. Like he seems like more idea. He likes doing the TFE. He keeps doing videos. So it was like, I think a long-term, let's get a movie out of this. This could be unique.
Well, so then you went and did that, came back, found this community that used to be a part of, would you say? Like that used to be your camp, and now you feel like, wait a minute, now they're turning on me with information that I feel like would...
I used to catch their clips.
Yeah.
Not many of these guys particularly, but I'd catch the big ones. And so I wasn't in the live or the clipped out comments.
So they were a little more fringe than where you...
I would get like a new post from one of my like, I have a couple of main lines that I take every day from my news and feeds and people I trust. And then you'd see one come through and you'd be like, oh yeah, I told that guy about Flat Earth.
Yeah.
And he would send one, I'd be like, yeah, I'll be looking at it. So that was how I engaged. I wasn't ever looking for it. I would see shit and I'd in the comments be one of those guys that'd be like, well, it's flat. You know, when they were showing a NASA video, I'd be like, that looks fake.
Yeah.
That looks like CGI. Because a lot of them do.
Well, and that could be another can of worms, but interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see the doc, however it comes to be, and along the way, the path you take has always been interesting. How we talked about at the beginning, interacted and navigated has been through, production and creation and all the things. Where outside of the doc and with what you just did, where are you going and what does that look like? We're here in Beverly Hills. You're building a family. Well,
I'm still going. Like the Antarctica doc, it's got legs. I could grow it into more than a 90-minute doc.
Yeah.
But I'm finishing that right now, and then I think I finished that, and if we put that out there, the Love of Reason, another movie, another 90-minute. This is a narrative feature film. I think if that one, if I can pick it up in the next 2 or 3 months, I could finish both these. I could have Antarctica done and that one done, both be going somewhere by the end of the year. Both of them, in a lot of ways, have been, are like labors of love. Flat Earth is so close. Language of Reason, formerly Language, The Love of Reason, very close. It's based on a true story, allegedly. Very close, independent production, my first feature, great actors in it, like yourself, like a ton of people that have gone on in those 6 years it's taken to make that film and really develop their careers. I have another one. I'm in an option about a book. I don't want to say too much about it, but there's a screenplay by a great writer, and it's ready to go.
What would you say that some of these films coming out, it's a culmination of a decade of work that's finally bringing you to a forefront? Like pretty soon, as the multi-hyphenated person, you won't be able to be that. You'll be a director, or you'll be...
Yeah, I think I'm there. Every 7 years, Thomas Jefferson, I think, said that like a man must undergo revolution.
Yeah.
And I think every 7 years, I've had these metamorphosis moments in career. Like one of them I can 100% pinpoint and say, oh, I was different. Things changed there. When I got that gig from gaffer to DP, that set me on a path for 10 years. Things like right after that changed. This Flat Earth doc, the timing right now with the Flat Earth doc, The Love of Reason, the other little things I was doing before that kind of like snowballed. This is taking this on and doing the Antarctica, the final experiment. I'm the only crew. I have a sound, someone composing, making music. That's it other than me. Editing the whole thing, producing, interviewing, lighting, shooting, traveling. All of it is just me, maybe some other clips from the internet and people found footage, but never would have taken that on that way. It really just kind of happened out of circumstance. Couldn't have done it without DPing and gaffing for like a decade.
Yep.
And then directing the Love of Reason to a point where that was such a learning curve to get it to the movie it is now. I thought my directing really I delivered on everything, but there's things you don't anticipate. You learn the business. I think going forward, the next one, I'm a director. I still like shooting, so I'll still be a DP. I love photography. I want to shoot you guys after this because this is my like little makeshift studio. I love the photography because back in COVID, I had a garage and we're so isolated and I kind of hated it from people because people were taking it so serious. I wasn't taking it as serious. So I had my garage set up with these papers and like one strobe light from Patrick Kennedy when I moved out from my roommate. I had some when he moved to Nashville. So I was like, let me take stills. It only takes like a half an hour to shoot someone. They come in, you shoot them, they're gone. And I just kind of fell in love with that simplicity of, it's the big scope of a full movie, but for one angle, one frame usually.
Yeah.
You know, it all comes together for that. And, you know, whether it's figuring out the lighting I like, making a little style I like, and then just going with it and making it simple. One person, set up my light, my fill, my location, my paper, the person. I think I'll keep doing all of it. And now actually, what's crazy is I had to edit this movie. I've had to take it on, and I had options to go a lot of ways, but it just every step, things unfoiled with another person. So every step, it was like, I lose my voice a little bit, and it's gonna cost so much money because people just weren't able to deliver what they said they would.
Yeah.
And you have to like, you know, and they're not fulfilling that. So you have to shift gears, and then you find you're gonna do it yourself, and then you're giving time. Like I had a 6-week turnaround on the rough cut, and it takes 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, we did a trailer. There's a trailer on the Final Experiment YouTube, and on all my Jonathan Mariande Instagrams, YouTubes and stuff. It exists as well, TikTok. Yeah, I feel like the editing has been really fun with the progression of like, we were talking sound, like these mics, sound is a pain in the ass because like everyone overlooks it.
It's one of those things that and if you notice it, it's bad. And
Podcasting actually fixed it because everyone saw Joe Rogan with the Shure mic, and then everyone started getting the Shure with the elbow.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing it, but then you realize not having to yell, and I'm hoarse and like I've been sick since I went to Liverpool, but like you can speak with such a deep bassy, and that microphone takes it in, and it's so deep and bassy. You realize sound is so important. Adobe now makes it so easy to clean up sound.
They do a great job.
What?
Thanks, AI.
Yeah, it's great. Like the AI like is here, folks. Like if your
sounds
job is being replaced, it's not your job, it's you. Like you just
diversify quick.
Yeah, I mean you just look, like if I don't need to spend X amount of dollars and days to give you a job because I can literally do it quicker. You should be telling. The idea of movies is to tell the stories. The idea of movies is not to employ the crew, myself included.
Ooh, you're gonna get some hot water with that.
I don't care because myself is affected by it too. Like as much as anyone. Like, do I want to have someone, a transpo team to drive me? Yes.
It's funny as you say that. It's a very true statement. The objective of movies is to tell stories. The business of it is what we've created to just employ people, and that's just
the business is just
society.
a conduit to make it worthwhile for it to happen.
Yeah.
To paint, you still need a huge canvas if you want it big, and the paint, and the right brushes, and then the time. You're not going to paint a huge, valuable painting.
Well, it's just funny because as you pose that statement, it's just funny because the world I live in is surrounded by people employed off the business. But from my vantage point, I've always been one.
And for safety, some of these things are for safety.
Oh, all the reasons.
Longevity, like if it's not your project where you have the lion's share to gain on it, like when you're producing it and you have the back end to gamble, you're gambling your financial success, the back end, off of the labor, and you put in compromising the pay. If I have to hire people to come work for me, those people should be paid good rates because after the day is done, they're done and they're sacrificing their body, their time. I don't want you climbing off of a scaffolding unsafely because you're just the guy I could afford. You know, will AI change things? Yeah, but it's like movies are great because it's people. Same way theater is great because it's live. It's smoke and mirrors and the illusion of reality. But it's story. It's either a tragedy or a comedy. That's it.
Well,
you know, that's it.
With that and all things, with the time that we've had together on this show and then the time we've had together in life, we could talk forever.
Yeah,
and it's exciting because we will do this again, which is what I say to all my guests, because I look forward to the next time that we get to do this with an updated experience.
Yeah, it's amazing you bring this little studio around.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, we should update. I mean, I think in like 6 months I'll have a ton of updates.
I'm always looking for a reason to come back out here, but it is the time of the show. Granted, we've been talking about it the whole time. You can be direct to our audience and let them know something that is really poignant and pungent to you in your life right now that you want to bring attention to, shout out, whatever. You could your handles, websites, whatever.
Yeah, my handles, my everything is just my name, Jonathan Mariande.
Mm-hmm.
JONATHAN The movie The Final Experiment, The Love of Reason. I think that's it about projects, and I don't know. I was like burping when I said that. Yeah, the thing
What
about
you
life,
see is what you get with Jonathan.
You know, in life you got to stay in honor. Don't bring claims unless it's something you believe. But feel free to question everything, because that's how you stay in honor. Like if you don't have to be unsettled about your convictions. Like you can say, well, what about this? Whataboutism is totally good. Just be okay with what other people believe, because you might not agree with it. And try to find the things you agree with them about, or try to find agreement in things, because it'll probably be a lot more beneficial than controversy. Controversy just has you in the gray bar hotel, locked up against your own self, at war with yourself, angry, and then it's not very fun. But staying in honor, you can have fun, you can question things, you can have the conversations, you can not be so attached to it.
Is there, and I was buttoning this up, but I just wanted to throw a little curve. Has there been times along your career that I've known you, that you found yourself not staying in honor, that you would be down a path, you're like, how did I get here? This is not where I want to be. And you pulled back or course corrected?
No, once I figured out the method of staying in honor, this is a huge claim, what I believe, but no, I think it's transformed how I deal with everyone and everything. Because the minute someone's like, hey, why did you do this? I'm just sort of like, who, me? And just by saying who, me, you've politely said, well, you know, what authority do you have to be talking to me? I don't even know who. Are you talking to me? And then people are always like caught up because they're expecting a response, and then they have to say their own thing again. Oh, yeah, sorry, or yeah, you can't park there. Would you like me to move? Yeah, you need to. Could you be kinder how you ask me? You know, you can always take it right back to them without being so sour, because then you're kind of being fair. It's like you could have just said, hey, would you mind moving your car? That spot's not available.
Well, and with that, friends, you have heard it from the horse's mouth. Everybody love everybody. Don't be an asshole.
Or just you can be all those things.
You can be all those things.
Yeah, just stay in honor about it.
Stay in honor about it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see everything that comes out next. And as always, friends, thanks for watching. And if you can put this puzzle together of a fever dream of a podcast, I'm excited to share it. And I look forward to the next time we get to do it again.
Yeah, anybody who made it this long, hats off to you.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right.